Excuse me, waitress. Look, I'm unable to eat this. I told you I'm allergic to gluten. Oh, I'm so sorry, madam. I completely misunderstood you. I'll bring you a new one. Complaining is not something that many of us enjoy, but sometimes it's necessary. You might need to express how you're feeling about a problem at work. You might need to tell your housemate that you're not happy with them, or to tell the waiter that you've been given the wrong food in a restaurant. In English, we often use negative prefixes with positive words to talk about problems. For example, you're so respectful. You're so disrespectful. The word respectful means to feel or act with respect. So with due regard for the feelings, wishes, or rights of others. If you say to someone, you're so respectful, that could be a compliment because you're saying that they treat others kindly and fairly. However, if we add that negative prefix, dis, onto the beginning, it becomes a completely different sentence. Now this person is disrespectful, which means they are impolite and they show a lack of courtesy and respect. Frustratingly, there isn't a rule that applies to every word to tell us which negative prefix to use. You just have to learn them off by heart. Let's go through 5 of the most common negative prefixes and learn a few words to go with each one. Remember, each one basically just means not. So, the first negative prefix we're going to look at is dis, dis. Respectful becomes disrespectful. Agree becomes disagree. I disagree. Similar becomes dissimilar. Next, let's look at un. Tidy becomes untidy. Fair becomes unfair. Oh, it's so unfair. I always have to do the washing up. Lucky becomes unlucky. I should never have bet on the football. I'm always so unlucky. Now let's move on to in. Correct becomes incorrect. Dependent becomes independent. Considerate becomes inconsiderate. The next one can be a little bit confusing. It's im. So possible becomes impossible. Perfect becomes imperfect. Moral becomes immoral. The im prefix is only ever used with words which begin with m or p. The next prefix is ir. It's only ever used with words that start with the letter R. So, regular becomes irregular. Rational becomes irrational. Resistible becomes irresistible. You can't resist it. So, the next scene will be a customer making a complaint to a hotel manager. I'd like you to count how many words you hear with a negative prefix and then list them in the comments. Here goes. Good evening. How can I help you? Well, unfortunately, I'm very unhappy with the service we've received at your hotel this evening, and I don't want to stay any longer. I would like my room cancelled and refunded. I'm so sorry to hear that. Please, could you explain what the problem is? Well, it's all gone wrong. You see, my family arrived and all of the staff were so unfriendly and they were just talking to each other when we were trying to check in. It was very impolite, unprofessional and disrespectful. I mean, we finally got into our rooms to find it so untidy. The bed was unmade and the room was unclean. It was not dissimilar to a pigsty. I was in total disbelief, so I came downstairs to ask if it could be cleaned. Meanwhile, we went to the hotel restaurant to have some dinner. Firstly, there were no high chairs, so I had to hold my baby on my lap, which is very inconsiderate to guests with young children. It's irresponsible of you not to provide facilities for babies when you have families staying at your hotel. When the food arrived, both of our meals were incorrect and had to be sent back, and then once we got the right meals, they were cold. I've just had enough. We came here for a luxury stay and it's been a disaster so far, so perhaps we have just been unlucky with our experience, but it's unfair that we should have to pay the full amount for this service. I'm so disappointed. So, how many did you hear? Don't forget to write your answer in the comments section below. Now, just before I leave, I want to remind you about the option to join Anna's English Club. By joining my club, you can get access to my private Skype group where I can share voice messages and video messages with you, answering your questions directly. You can also get access to worksheets for lessons such as this. And there's also exclusive member-only videos. So all you have to do is click the join button that's somewhere below this video. Until next time, take care and goodbye.